Welcome back to Major League Sorare, hottest show in the industry because it's the hottest league in the industry because it's back. MLS is back once again, baby. It's your man TrippinB. It's your guy DraftKicks. DraftKicks, how you doing this fine morning?
Man, I am jacked, brother. We've got a day until lineups lock. So I've been messing around building lineups the past couple of days, ever since Tuesday, I guess, once contests opened up, and a little let down when I first took a glance. I think, like a lot of people, when took a glance at the prize pool, I was like, what is Sorare doing? What are they thinking? They had to have known that Major League Soccer is back this weekend, and sure enough, they did. They adjusted the prize pool and bumped them up a little bit. I mean, not, obviously we're still going to be have our complaints and wish that the prize pools were bigger, but definitely bigger than when they first came out. But needless to say, yeah, man, I am pumped up. I'm ready to roll. So how about you? You ready to rock or what?
I am somewhat ready to rock. I'm a little disappointed that there's no Major League Soccer draft league. There's no like amateur MLS draft thing. I really expected that to be going for week one, and I think that's a big misstep by Sorare. I think they dropped the ball. A few balls were dropped there. I know they're a busy company with a lot going on, but I think that's a pretty big disappointment to not have like a free to play. The way they've done free to play for all the other major leagues, I think is so great that I would love for there to be MLS one. But there's no JPL one. Also, there's no Eredivisie one. So maybe they just consider a smaller league. Now that you're not Big Five, you're nothing to Sorare. I guess that who knows, but. We'll see.
Once they announced Premier League, then MLS became
small we
fries.
But hey, I mean, that's into third class citizen for sure.
Yeah, but there's that partnership there, so I could see why you would expect that. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think we see it for sure. Week 2, you're not the only one that I've heard complaining or just saying, "Hey, what's up with this?" Like, where's MLS? So
I don't think we'll see it week 2. I think if we were going to see it, we would have seen it. I think about what they have with the Jupiler League, JPL Belgium. Like there's not a special league for that, so that's where I should have realized all along that I think the amateur leagues might just stick to those Big Five. Unfortunately, maybe in summertime, maybe once all those leagues go away, they finally bring the MLS version. But big ball drop. Anyway, I said off the bat to you, good morning, and I know I wasn't supposed to reveal that we're recording this in the morning because I know you're drinking a nice hazy IPA there to enjoy it.
Hey, it's at least 10 o'clock, all right? So it's 5 o'clock. Excuse, right?
So the last episode we had Fripp at 10 a.m. in Taiwan where he was, and he was drinking some green tea. But now it's around 10 a.m. here where you are, and you're having a nice hazy, and I love it. And I think it's only going to strengthen the episode. What we want to talk about today, we are the show that covers the America division in Sorare almost exclusively, with a huge focus on MLS. We'll also we'll talk about Liga MX, we'll talk about Argentina, Brazil, the other South American leagues. But we're Major League Sorare. We love MLS. I'll always wear an MLS kit. That's my commitment to you, the viewers, that I'm always going to be wearing some type of like MLS or MLS related shirt on the show. I did wear a Racing Club shirt one time that was related to Enzo Copetti going to Charlotte. Schuyler, you've got your Orlando City. I remember you got that at the game we went to last year, right?
Oh yeah. This is I had to pull it back out. This is from the Sorare meetup in Orlando. Shout out to the Orlando boys. That was a hell of a time. Met several people. John Nellis, Harry Trades, obviously hung out with Laird. I was rooming with Lairdy. We had a blast, man. And that's what I love about the Sorare community. It's just, hey, and kind of like what Fripp was saying, like he's traveled the world. He's meeting so many people that are involved in the game. And I love it, man. I mean, it's like I wouldn't have never met you unless we connected through Sorare. Well, I mean, obviously like RotoWire podcast, but we still kind of kept that going.
We took it to the next level. Sorare. Yeah, exactly.
Met up in Charlotte, had a beer together. And so it's a global game, and it's fun to actually like physically meet up in person and not just have like computer friends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, these people are real. Damn it, helps when you're explaining your computer friends to your spouses and significant others where you can actually show these are real people for sure. I'm hoping to host at least one. Maybe I'd love anyone that wants to do Sorare meetup here in Charlotte. I go to every single home game. I always have at least one extra ticket, so hit me up. First come, first serve on that. And any Sorare managers that wants to come see the greatest club in Major League Soccer play, come visit. I think on March 11th, Atlanta plays at Charlotte, which is actually a rare Sunday game for this season. And there's a couple Sorare people that I've talked to that might actually end up in town. So I'm looking forward to that, and we'll continue it throughout the summer. hit me up. You know where to find me, at TrippinB on Twitter. There, sorry, pointing to there. Now I can point to the right thing. He's at DraftKicks. There we go. Nice. You can follow him. You don't need to follow me. I have too many followers, and I always say stupid crap on Twitter anyway. So feel free to unfollow if you need to. But we're here to talk MLS. We're here to talk about week 1. We want to talk some quick injury news and maybe sort of show you how we look for injury news. Hopefully that'll be a little more instructive than just specific stuff this week, although we will point some of that out. We want to look at some lineups and that you've built so far, Schuyler, talk about that process briefly. And then we're going to do the thing that we've been looking forward to all year, all preseason, is the definite decisives. We're going to bring you our definite decisives, and we feel pretty good about these. These are not just throwaways. We actually planned these out, so look forward to that. I want to do one thing real quick right off the top of the jam, which is to highlight a lineup that you built that just blew me away. I think it blew us all away, if we're really being honest here, because this is one of the sickest Sorare lineups I've ever seen. Look at these boys.
I don't know about that.
Edition, championship edition Driussi from his Zenit adventure. Signed Julian Gressel that we sort of highlighted the last show. Signed Brad Stuver. I forget how you got the Stu, but Brad Stuver is such a great man that I have zero surprise that you were able to finagle a way to get his signed card, because he just wants to help the community. Ryan Gauld, the Gauld father, and then Giassi Zardes, who you just picked this card up, and I think it's a nice go with your Driussi, a nice little combo there. We might have more to say about Zardes later, as we were hinting at, but just tell us about putting this lineup together. It's beautiful.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm pumped about it. And Zardes, the big head Zardes there, that was, I guess you could call it a deadline day deal. I think I mentioned last show when I talked with you at Fripp, saying, hey, like, I love it. Austin FC this week at home against expansion St. Louis. I think they're going to feast. And so I want as many pieces as I can get to that. And yeah, just some things opened up. I think I sold Shinosuke Hatanaka, Asian
Hatanaka
card.
Had to go.
Yeah, that opened up some ETH for me. Had a couple of other cards that I could spare. I think Chris Brady limited. And so yeah, put a pack.
Yeah, you traded a bunch of limited. You traded us limiteds plus ETH for this rare card, right? I believe.
Yep. Yeah. And so I was after Zardes.
Who says there's no progression in Sorare? Come on, here's a guy building his limiteds up and trading up to get a rare and strengthen his rare lineups. I love it.
Yeah, it worked out nice. I've been after Zardes, and I know he's mostly gold dependent, but I feel like he's in a good spot in Austin this year. I think he's going to get a lot of chances. I like the way that their style of play fits his game. He's playing for his old, I think, assistant coach, but maybe a striker coach, Josh Wolf, who was a goal scorer in his own right back in the day in MLS for Sporting Kansas City.
Yeah, that's a bonus episode on Josh Wolf. You'll get, if you want my unvarnished thoughts on Wolf, you can either check my Twitter feed or give me a phone call for sure.
Yeah, but that aside, like he excelled under Wolf, and he's back. He's back under Wolf in Austin. I think he's in a good spot. And so yeah, I wanted to have another piece in addition to Driussi. I've got Brad Stuver, hopefully going to come through with a clean sheet. And and then I paired it with a little mini Vancouver stack with Gressel and Gauld. I like their matchup at home against Salt Lake, and we'll see. I mean, obviously, you look at it, and on paper, when you're looking at it, you're like, hey, damn, that's a sexy looking lineup. But hey, it's MLS. Anything could happen. And right now, I'm trying to decide: do I want to enter it in Champion America? Do we want to go All-Star? Because you mentioned,
put those boys in All-Star. That's a dangerous lineup.
Yeah, when I sent it over, you said that's an Mbappe winner right there.
Yeah,
I actually haven't plugged into America right now. Do I need to? So we'll see. I mean, again,
it could easily win. I think that's a potential division winner in America. I think the question becomes what's the matchups of some of the elite teams and cards from Europe and Asia that are going to be playing in All-Star, and do you trust it? I'm big on MLS versus the world. I think I got a podium one time in a I think it was in March against all the European squads or whatever, and I had an all MLS team, and I remember when I posted the screenshot, I was like, MLS versus the world, F everyone, it feels good to take the MLS guys and take them global. So I think you play that in All-Star Rare for sure, Division D4 as we like to call it around here, the semi OGs at the house. and run it. Let it fly. Let that thing fly for sure in the All-Star division because in general the All-Star rewards are just going to be better as you sort of hinted at that until we get like a new batch and minting and 2023 versions of MLS cards. The prize pools will probably be pretty low. I remember that experience from last year. So like we didn't love this first week prize pool. I don't think we're going to fall in love with any of the near future ones either. We're just going to sort of have to grin and bear it. But eventually when they do like a 2023 mintings of and like a whole new like edition of cards, I think that will open up a lot more rewards. So at that point, I think that's when you can start to focus on your best lineups in Champion America. But for the most part, you should put it global, I think. If you really like the lineup.
Yeah, no, it'll probably end up there. I've got a pretty decent kind of backup squad that I can throw in America. So
yeah,
that's probably where we'll land, and we'll see.
Obviously, if you want to go, I think most people will think the way we just kind of outlined. And if you want to be contrarian and think like, well, if everybody's filtering out their good cards out to the global All-Star, I want to get first place in America. I want to get the number. I know I can get first place with this lineup. Then that's when you would maybe put in America if you just like really love it so much and you think maybe the competition's a little weaker.
Yeah, definitely some decisions to be made, and I think that's kind of what you alluded to at the beginning of the show. Like, as much as we feel like we're set on some of these lineups, and I know things are going to change over the next 20 hours, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's why, we'll show you lineups we build on here, but those are all subject to change. Quick disclaimer for sure. But I want to talk real quick about injury news. We talked about, we mentioned we were going to talk that. So let's shoot over. I want to screenshot our boy Fripper, who Sorare USA on Twitter. If you don't follow him already, you should be. But he is one of the key sources for like aggregating injury news that gets out because. So you see, this is the player availability report for our New England, right? And this is like a common thing that's available, but it's not that easy to find. It's more sent out to like media members and stuff, more so than released directly to the public. You can't really get this report easily on Major League Soccer, soccer.com even, but you can like find these. They are out there. And so what Fripp does is he knows the people that are always finding them and posting them. He puts them all in his feed. It works out well. And right away, you see this is New England. You see Gustavo Bo is questionable. That's interesting to me because I think heel is always better when Bo is on the field. And then I think there's one other injury report from Fripp's time I wanted to spotlight if he has posted it. Looks like it's not there, but there was an injury report I saw that I'm drawing a blank on it right now. Let me get back to that in a second. But what do you think of these injury reports, Schuyler? It might have been Chicharito. No, it was Johnny Russell. It was Johnny Russell. I saw Johnny Russell was actually out, and I was not expecting that. So
okay, yeah, that's interesting because I've got some Russell in a lineup or two, so I need to adjust.
Yeah, I'll find that for you while you tell me what's your experience dealing with these injury availability reports that come out, but they're not easy to find, and then like just your general injury news type of situation for you.
MLS is it's a tough league to decipher injury news. Like you said, you kind of got to do some digging to even find these player availability reports. The actual league site is a little bit spotty as far as they do have I think they've got a injuries and suspensions page, but it's not updated as frequently as we'd like. And so, yeah, you have to know who some of the beat writers are that are going to be in training, keeping up with. Chicharito just left LA Galaxy practice with a niggling hamstring injury that he's been dealing with throughout the preseason. All of a sudden, he's questionable, and so you see that come across the Twitter feed. A lot of it's putting in the work on your own, and of course, stay glued to Fripp, to Sorare USA, because he's always on top of that stuff. He's always reposting anything that he comes across. But for me, I follow a lot of the beat writers for the clubs, and that's how I pick up most of my injury news. And so, yeah,
it's usually helpful it's usually helpful to follow the people that Fripp retweets would be another good way to put it for sure. But yeah, here's the Polito availability report that I saw as of yesterday. Johnny Russell's out with a hamstring.
Okay.
And I don't know if that was for the weekend or just he was out for training that day. That could maybe be a little misleading, but
Yeah, and so you've got, for me, I know Chicharito is probably out. I think Hani Mukhtar is a big question mark because I think he was held out as a precaution
Yeah, my
from what
great
Gary
prize,
Smith
Hanny.
said. Yeah, and so he's one that I'd be real hesitant to lock into a big lineup because I mean he's a player, reigning MVP, Nashville's go-to guy for goals, for assists. And so yeah, you want to play him if you can, but just with the news of him not being absolutely locked into the starting lineup, then yeah, I'm definitely gonna pump the brakes a little bit on Mukhtar, and probably I would probably avoid him unless we get news before lock. Like yes, he's good to go.
Right,
As
unless
of
you know for
this,
sure. Yeah.
yeah, as of this show, then yeah, we don't know. It's up in the air. I think Nashville's being a little bit kind of keeping it under wraps. Maybe they don't want to say, oh yeah, he's going to be good to go. He comes out and just beasts. That's possible, but yeah, I'm probably staying away from him right now. And then Chicharito, like I said, and I think I saw something about Albert Rusnak might have something that he's dealing with too. I'm not
Yeah, he had
100%, but
a
I think
he had
that
a
came
rolled
across my Twitter
ankle.
feed.
He had a rolled
Yeah.
ankle 2 days ago, and then yesterday he was 100% participant, and someone who was at practice said Rusnak looks absolutely fine, in my opinion. So
Okay.
we'll see. Yeah, I don't know if that was not a team source that was saying that, but that was an observer, a witness, if you will, who was watching Rusnak run around in training the day after the rolled ankle and said he looked fine. So I have Mukhtar and Rusnak, and I'm short on midfielders. So like, yeah, this is all vital stuff to me as you're talking about as I try to build my lineups. And yeah, the questions abound. One thing I wanted to show is, and I won't go too in depth here, but I mentioned this the other day that I had built already like tons and tons of lineups, right? So like these lineups I got, it feels so good because I've been playing like 1-2 lineups per game week for months now, like since the World Cup. And so now to have like 16 lineups built, even though I know like all these are subject to change and are going to change now, it does feel pretty good. I will show off my Champion America super rare here if I can, which I just super proud of.
Oh baby,
Pablo
Swiderski
Pena,
unique.
Pereira, yeah, and then the Swiderski unique and the Savarino super rare. It feels pretty good, but that should have been Reynoso in the middle instead of Pereira, who I'd feel a little bit better about. I still don't know what to expect from Mauricio. He could be elite, he could not, so we'll have to see there. But that's where I'm at with my lineups, and yeah, like I'm looking forward to like redoing all these already, and like figuring out like who's going to go where. But you see, I think Driussi is one of, even though Sorare data probably is, I really like this new sort of matchup rating tool they've come up with, but it's probably not calibrated correctly for MLS just yet because there's no way that Driussi's matchup is a C. I think Driussi is probably the best forward America play that you can have this week at home against St. Louis. So we'll have to see how that pans out, but that's what I believe. And yeah, really looking forward to digging into all this again after we finish this episode. Pretty much is what I'm going to be spending a lot of the rest of my day on. But I think without further ado, we need to get to the matter at hand, which is the definite decisives, which is what it's really all about.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess, real quick before.
Did you have any more lineup construction thoughts? Because actually, let me show you have a couple other lineups we wanted to run through here. I did forget that. Forgive me, but I know we're running quick on time, so I don't want to waste too much time.
I just want to add on to the injury news. Just be aware too. There's some guys that are still coming back. Like you mentioned Bo in that report. It said not injury related. I think he's been in Argentina over preseason. I think I heard news that he was in like a Sunday league game, like some sort of charity game, even as recent as this past weekend. So he's just now reporting back over to New England. Like that's why he's out. But there's other situations like that to monitor. Obviously, we heard Eloy Room is going to be out because he's dealing with visa issues, and so Evan Bush is going to start for Columbus and goal this weekend.
My number one serial, Evan Bush, is in action.
There you go. And then Giacomakis, I don't know if I said that right, but Atlanta's new stud forward. I think
it's Giacomos. Yeah, I think it's just Giacomos.
Giacomos. Okay.
Yeah. Georgios Giacomos.
I know he's been dealing, I think, trying to obtain his visa. I want to say that I heard he was supposed to have gotten it yesterday. I'm not sure if that panned out or not, but
I think Atlanta fans are just calling him GG because they have, it's going to be good game for them this season because with him or not, they're done. That's what I will say. But
Yeah, I'll stick with
yeah,
that.
you're right about injury news for sure. And sorry, we do have a little bit more ado here. I misspoke before we get to the definite decisives, but let's talk a little bit real quick about just sort of some of your lineup construction on some of your capped lineups that you wanted to go through. And I got the rare up here. Tell me if you want me to switch to the super rare or the limited, and we'll maybe learn something even more.
Yeah, this was kind of my first go through building Cap 240 lineups, and so it was definitely it was an interesting project, I guess you could say. But I feel pretty good about it because obviously we're trying to hit 250 points to hit that threshold. And so one thing that I kept running into, especially with goalkeepers, because we don't get that percentage boost, right? We don't get that added
no XP.
Yeah, and so I had to kind of look at some of my goalkeepers and say, like, okay, who has the most XP? Do I want to use them in Cap 240, or do I want to make sure I'm getting that XP percentage in some of these other contests that will actually get them? And so that's how I ended up with Cisniega. There, I've got
do you have is Haybear a 0? Because Cisniega is a 57. Cisniega is a 57 cap, which is tough to sneak into 240.
Haybear is. Yeah, I think Haybear wasn't. I think he was closer to 40 or something. But there again, Raul Ruiz is supposedly out for opening day, and I think it's either going to be Haybear or Freddie Montero starting up top for Seattle, which I think Seattle has a pretty good matchup at home against Colorado, and Bears had a good preseason. Like they're pretty psyched first season in Seattle. Sure. From what I'm hearing, Schmetzer's trying to figure out a way to get Bear and Rui Diaz working together like a 2-forward system in Seattle. And so
O'Brien,
tricky so I'm rolling with Bear right out of the gate and hoping he helps me hit that threshold. And then I've got 2 Nashville defenders there, and Zimmerman and Mayer, who I both think can hit 50 points. Yeah, I think they can hit 50 points. And then Pablo Ruiz, who a little up and down, but we've seen before, like he can bring the AAs. Actually ended up making a deal to bring in another Ruiz. I had one already, and then usually I was trying to build a U23 lineup. I had Thomas Asal as my U23 keeper. That's out the window now. So I'm just going to use Ruiz where I can, and that's where he fit in.
So
I think that's maxed out 240.
Does Pablo Ruiz get better with Krylock back or worse?
Oh, I think he gets better. I think it just helps his case. I still think he's going to be over some sets, and Krylock. I mean, Ruiz is going to be a little more defensive minded. I think Krylock's going to be a little more attacking minded, but I think that they're going to feed off of each other a little bit. And I like Ruiz's chances to get back into that AA machine that he was.
I love it. I'm a Savarino guy, so hopefully Krylock and Pablo understand the pecking order about who deserves the sets there. And speaking of Savarino, he found his way into your 240 limited lineup.
Yeah, I've got a share of him and limited as a forward. That was a midfield card, so I had a little bit kind of an extra one to throw around. And yeah, that lineup, again, I'm maxing out this 240. Benteke he's like a 36 or something. And so kind of in the same realm as like Josh Zardes, like Benteke, you've got to get goals from this guy. I think he's going to score some goals. I've said it before on the podcast. And so he fit in this lineup. Gressel, defender.
If anyone's going to score for DC, it'll be Benteke.
Yeah. And then I had a random Asian keeper kind of laying around. I've got an Asia limited lineup, but I have another keeper. So
you kept your Asia division cards. I finally had to just get out of that division. I couldn't tell the lack of team news around K-League and just the craziness of J-League just all combined to just drive me out of the division. But
you mean you don't like waking up at 4 a.m. and just waking up already pissed off of the day?
I actually do love that, but it just didn't quite have the bandwidth for it. There's a few too many other things going on. The Benteke love, though, it's not just limited to limited, and it's Benteke has a chance to earn you way more than just $5 in limited because you've got him in your super rare Cap 240 as well. Tell us a little bit about building this one.
Yeah, that one I've got some pieces with Lewis Morgan and Benteke that I think can get some decisives for us.
Yep.
And then you've got a guy like Michael. Yeah, hopefully. And then you've got a guy like Michael Bradley who's just so consistent.
Yeah.
I feel like he's like an automatic 50 at least, and then maybe hopefully hits that like 60, somewhere around there. I'm counting on it. And then Zach McGraw is he was a little bit of a kind of just dart throw, hoping he would get the start in preseason. It looks like he's headed towards starting opening day.
Yeah. Huge.
And
Zach McGraw is a great card. He crushes AA when he plays generally. Yeah. And with them moving Tuiloma out to Charlotte, I think McGraw's a lock to start. And I think they had the confidence to move Tuiloma because McGraw's young. He's under 23 still.
I don't think he's still under 23, but
okay. Well, regardless, he's young. He's young, and they have a lot of confidence in him. So that makes sense.
Yeah, and he gets forward on set pieces. Like I think he's gonna get on the end of some this year. So and then Fry, I like his matchup at home. So I feel good about hitting this threshold. And again, it's MLS. Anything could happen, but I wanted to give myself a shot. And so I feel like with all three of those lineups, and that's kind of one of my goals. Like I'm gonna probably track it over the course of the season and say maybe even start a spreadsheet and say, did you hit the threshold in super rare, limited, just, see how much you make over the course of 38 games.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to do. I hope you do that and we can share those results at the end of the season. I hope that you win this threshold this week. I'm going to look you and Andy Black. I hope you're listening, Andy Black, square in the eye. I'm going to say, Michael Bradley, his days are numbered. I know you've been living this high wire, tightrope act of Michael Bradley pouring in the points for you, but at some point he can't keep getting away with this. It's got to stop, So
you think his dad is? You think his dad is just going to bench him?
Well, yeah, Bob will never pull him out of the lineup. That's his one advantage for sure. If Bob gets fired, I would be selling my Michaels immediately. So anyway, okay. That we had the further ado, we dug a little deeper, but it is time. We are trying to go quick in this episode. So let's get into our definite decisives. And the way this is going to work is we have definite decisives, right? Is our overall header. But within that, there's some subcategories. We have the guaranteed goals. We have the automatic assists. And we have the could-be clean sheets. Because let's be honest, trying to guarantee a clean sheet is a fool's errand. But we can give you our best shot at who might have the best chance at a clean sheet. So it keeps the alliteration going as well. So as far as our definite decisives, we went through this. And Schuyler, give me your guaranteed goal.
Got to go with Zardes. I've been beating that drum for the past couple of shows, and I picked one up. So I'll put my money where my mouth is, so to speak.
Yep.
I wanted to say Driussi, but I felt like that's a little bit of a cop-out. What I want to do kind of with a definite decisive is not just say always go with a high-end guy. We are going to throw some high-end guys out there, but also throw some out there that are within reason to pick up if somebody's looking to make a deadline day move. Right. And Zardes, I think I got him for around 0.17, 175, which still seemed a little bit high for Giassi Zardes, but
and that was a deadline day move. So you did put your money where your mouth is and you backed it up for sure.
Yeah, just like the spot that he's in. I think Austin's going to be feeding him throughout the game. He's already talking about just staying after practice, having Nick Lima, Zan Kalmanich, guys just feeding balls into the box.
Just send me crosses. He's Zan.
And I feel like it's kind of it's given him some new life, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do. And I think I have even threw out there to you guys, to you and Larry, and said I kind of think he's going to make a run at the Golden Boot this year.
That was a little bit of a stretch, but Golden Boot seems a little dicey. But hey,
we'll get off to a good start here. Give me a goal or two, then hey, let's roll with it.
All right. Well, my guaranteed goal is going to be a guy who had a breakout season last year, and I think it's going to continue at home versus Houston. Brandon Vasquez is a baller. He's the goal scorer for Cincinnati. Cincinnati has some big aspirations. After being wooden spooners for their first few years as a franchise, made the playoffs last year. They got high aspirations, and B. Vasquez is just rounding into form. He's discovering all ways to maximize aspects of his game. He's a really fun player to watch. We think he's going to have U.S. men's national team future. And I think his hot season last year continues with a goal in week 1.
Yeah, I like it. And I think Brenner just got back into this FC Cincinnati camp. So I think it's just going to be Vasquez as kind of the go-to guy, maybe Sergio Santos. But yeah, Vasquez, that's a good shot. I like it.
Now, as for your assist, you're kind of on the Cincy train as well. Am I right?
Yeah, let's pile it on. Let's see a Lucho Acosta to Brandon Vasquez goal. Love the matchup. FC
Right.
Cincy at
For the
home.
brand, as they say.
Yeah, he led this. Feels a little bit like a cop out too. He led the league in assists last year, but I just love the matchup at home against Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Since he's going to get some chances, they want to come out of the gate swinging, and they've got a good squad this year. Like I'm going to be interested to see how far they can go because I think anybody who's kept up with them since they entered the league, like since he was always kind of the doormat, and they've turned it around last year, and I think they're going to keep that momentum going. They've got some good pieces, and I think Lucho is going to continue to shell out the assists.
Nice. Well, I'm going to go pure homer pick for my automatic assist, and it's because he's on all the set pieces. It's Ashley Westwood. He's a 0L15 cheat code, so a lot of people have been picking him up. I expect him to be like heavily deployed across all the divisions. He doesn't have a ton of cards in the game, being someone who was on Burnley and then got injured. But if you have one of his cards, you're definitely putting in a key lineup this week. I would have to assume probably like a cap 270 or something like that. And I say he gets the assist. I think he starts his MLS career with a bang. Guy was awesome to watch in the 2 preseason friendlies that I got to go see personally. And yeah, I think he can take the league by storm. I think upside for Ashley Westwood, honestly, is to become a Carlos Heel type player in terms of someone who's just like dominates the league. And I have this working theory that I've always had, which is that like if you're a superstar in Europe and you come to MLS, a la Pirlo, Gerrard, Lampard, it becomes like really, you don't really get it. You can find it hard to mesh. But if you're like a talented player who's not really a superstar in Europe and you come to MLS, like a Carlos Heel who played for Villa and played in La Liga, like that is what gives you like the opportunity to like really show your skill and like dominate. I think Westwood's one of those types personally.
I like it. Yeah, even when he was over in the Premier League, he was whipping in crosses and set piece specialist kind of player. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what he does there in Charlotte. Maybe throws one to your guy Enzo Capetti. You gonna pick up a Capetti to try to pair him with?
So you're challenging me because because I don't have a Capetti, right? I have not had a Enzo Capetti card. His rare was just like a little bit. It's even when I try to get guys even as they're rumored to come to Charlotte if I can get him for cheap, but he was like never cheap because he dominated so hard for Rossing last year. So as of now, I got to admit I'm a little ETH poor. I don't have I don't mind sharing my ETH balance, I guess, is in the 1/10 of a coin range here. So I'm wondering if I should buy an Enzo Capetti right now, though, with the little ETH that I have, and just buy the bullet. I see his current floor price is 0.0355. I think his most recent sale went for more than that, I'm pretty sure. So we're getting a little bit of a deal here in a falling market. Give me your best bully me pitch to click buy on this Enzo Capetti right now.
It's your guy. Like, don't you have pretty much every single Charlotte card in existence?
I do.
You don't have a Capetti?
Yeah. Everybody who plays or has played for Charlotte that has a card I have. All right, boom. That's all you needed to say. Easy breezy.
Wow. I hope he does well
Capetti
for you. I like I actually think Charlotte's I think they're going to come out and have a strong showing. I'm not going to, I think obviously there's going to be a lot of emotion in the stadium.
Oh yeah,
with Anton Walks in mind, and not saying like that's going to drive them to a win or anything like that. But anytime you've got something like that, you're playing for something a little extra. So I think we're going to see something extra from Charlotte. And yeah, I mean, Capetti's scored some goals in preseason, and hey, let's see a Westwood to Capetti and hit your automatic assist.
Yeah, exactly. Got a 8% discount on the last 5 sales here according to this page. So I will certainly take that. Transfer is in progress. We're loving it. I got to put him in my For the Crown squad now. Look at that Hall. Look at that gorgeous Hall of Fame, by the way. I mean, just look at that Hall of Fame. Carroll and Guzman. What a fool I've been to spend so much of my hard-earned cash on digital cards that are black. But hey, you know what? That's crypto, baby. Let's get back real quick. Finish off the Decisives. Yeah. Well, he'll stay in the squad. Even guys who've left the team stay in the squad. Yeah, but Reyna off to
because he's got a jersey.
Yeah, exactly. He's off to go play for the worst team in Russia. Even my Alan Franco's still here. Sergio Ruiz, all that stuff. I'll never lose my Sergio Ruiz signature card. Gracias, Sergio.
Maybe.
Hope your career picks up. But yeah, I even got the Karol Swiderski World Cup unique
Nice.
World Cup cards.
Look at that.
Thanks to
that's a work of art right there, Tripp.
Yeah, huge shout out to Andrew Laird for the Swiderski World Cup cards. That guy, he knows. I don't know if he knows the way to everybody's heart, but he knew the way to my heart was some free World Cup cards. I hate when your squad gets this big, it gets really unwieldy to like move a card up to where it needs to go in the placing. So thanks for all y'all for bearing with me. But there is a method to this madness. It goes by scarcity and position, as you can see. Obviously, I can't move anyone in front of Karol though. So boom, there we go. Okay, back to the definitive decisives to finish this baby off. Let's see. Clean sheet, hard to guarantee in MLS for sure. And you've heard us advocate the strategy many times of like you actually want to build your America lineups with South American defenders and MLS attackers, but we're still going to put a could be clean sheet out there. Who do you got this week, Schuyler?
Well, I wanted to go with Stu, but somebody else mentioned that they wanted to throw him out there.
Spoilers.
First,
spoilers. Yes, I picked Brad
spoiler. My bad.
mine. Yeah, exactly. But
so if we could both pick the same,
we could both pick the same. Yeah, we're gonna try to make the goals and assists where we have sort of eliminator style and never pick the same person twice. Will obviously be impossible with goalies. So goalies are open to be picked twice or picked the same if you believe in him. But you actually picked. You went originally with Joe Willis and then you changed it. Why'd you change it to Pice?
Yeah, I went with Pice. I like FC Dallas's defensive setup. I like him as a keeper in general. And then also you've got Minnesota missing, like we've mentioned, Emmanuel Reynoso, their key cog in the attacking midfielder. Yeah, star midfielder's out. And so they're going to be counting on Robin Lode, he's a solid player, but he's no Emmanuel Reynoso. No. And then on top of that, like they just don't have any attackers that I'm scared of, so to speak. So
right,
I think Dallas could pull off a clean sheet. I think that they'll come out strong, try to pick up a big home win right off the bat. And so I'll roll with Pace, but I don't mind Willis too.
Are they going to start Nkosi Tafari? Can I put my Nkosi super rare into a cap lineup or no?
I don't know. I'm probably putting him in lineups that I'm not counting on him starting. Just like, hey, maybe he'll come in as a sub because it sounds like it's going to be Sebastian Ibeagha and Martinez, I think.
Well, as former Ibeagha owners, both of us, I think we can attest that Ibeagha won't be. He'll find a way to get himself off the field like he usually does. He's really not that good. So,
hey, he's a MLS Cup winner with LAFC, right?
Yeah, Cup winner for sure. Cup toucher for sure. But anyway, that's about as long as we like to go here on this show. So there's our definitive decisives. Schuyler, you're going to tweet these out?
Yeah, I'll tweet these out. I'm going to also tweet out. We'll keep up with them throughout the course of the season just to kind of do our due diligence. And hey, if Zardes just completely blanks, and I'll own it. But I'm rolling with him. And so we'll tweet him out to the @ML Sorare feed.
Yeah, Major League Sorare, baby.
Also going to drop in there a link to our fantasy league that we're going to start. We haven't quite decided on prizes yet, but we're going to have some Sorare cards as prizes to say, like, you want to say top 3, like podium style, like not expecting a huge turnout. So if you want to just dip your toes in MLS fantasy, it's kind of similar to FPL, Fantasy Premier League. And I'm going to drop that link on the Twitter feed if anybody wants to jump in and have some fun with it, take a shot. And I think that you'll probably learn some stuff along the way that might help out with your Sorare game too. So should be a good time.
I love it. Well, good luck finishing your builds this week, everybody. Hope we provided some help and some entertainment most of all, because we do like to keep people laughing and having fun with this game, because it is a game after all, despite some people wanting to cry about all their lost investment in recent times. So thanks to everybody. Hope you have a lot of fun watching the games. I'll be at the New England-Charlotte game yelling, "Carlos heel is soft," as loud at the top of my lungs as I can get it. And we love you all. And